I stand by all of the evidence I gave to the committee, all 8 hours worth of evidence.
This week, after sitting for, let me think, nearly a year, the committee is almost on the point of publishing its report until, lo and behold, last night, a leak from that committee revealed that the committee had voted by 5 votes to 4 that Nicola Sturgeon had misled the committee and therefore the Scottish Parliament with some of her evidence. Now, that evidence was given by her in an 8-hour session on oath. We are at the stage where Nicola Sturgeon has been judged to have misled the Scottish Parliament, and the Scottish Tory leader and the Scottish Labour leader think if that is the case, she should resign as First Minister. She says she won't. She believes that the committee delivered what she calls a partisan report.
I mean, what's been clear is the opposition members of this committee made their minds up about me before I uttered a single word of evidence.
In other words, she thinks that the Tories, Labour and Liberal members of the committee ganged up against her. So what she's now planning to do, we think, is to basically say, I'm not going to resign, and I will put this issue to the Scottish people. There's an election to the Parliament in 6 or 7 weeks' time. She says she'll put it to the people to decide whether she should resign or not. Whether the Unionists, i.e. the Tories and Labour, would be better with a weakened Nicola Sturgeon going into the election, where if she doesn't resign, everybody will ask the same question at every press conference, at every TV interview: why don't you resign? That is one way of weakening her, but I do think that the SNP would be much more weakened if she's forced to resign in some form of disgrace or ignominy. I think that's just common justice, that if she misled the Parliament, and that's what the members of the committee think, then the decent thing, the honourable thing to do is resign. But unfortunately, politicians of all parties, not just the SNP, don't always do the honourable thing nowadays. The question of Scottish independence is very much tied up with the election to the Scottish Parliament in 7 weeks' time. Because if the SNP get a big majority, i.e. an overall majority in the Scottish Parliament, they plan to push for another referendum on independence. But the Tories, Labour and Liberals are trying to stop Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP getting that majority. And they think if they can stop her getting that majority, then that's the independence referendum off the agenda forever. However, if she does get the big majority and does win big in the Scottish elections, she says she will have a mandate for another referendum. So she wants to have one. However, the question of constitutional change, which a referendum would decide, is not a power devolved to the Scottish Parliament. It has to be agreed by the Westminster Parliament, in other words, the British government, the UK government. Now, Boris Johnson has said time without number that he will not agree to another referendum, no matter what. The astonishing thing about the SNP, Scottish National Party, is that come through hell or high water, they will always support their party. So they will vote for independence no matter what happens to Nicola.